friends, welcome. It's really nice to see you today. I'm Mrs. Urbach, and here's Charlie. He'd like to say hello. It's always nice to see you. Well, before I talk about the quilt that's on the wall behind me today, I want to talk about a shape. Now, you're probably familiar with a lot of shapes like circles and squares and triangles. The shape I want to talk about is called a hexagon. And a hexagon has 6 sides. Let's count to 6 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I were going to draw a picture of a hexagon, it might look like this. Let's count the sides as I draw them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see all those sides? This is a hexagon. Now look at this shape and look at the quilt behind me. Do you see any hexagons in the quilt? I bet you do. There are lots of hexagons in that quilt, aren't there? That quilt is called Kaffe's Hexagons, and you already know why the word hexagons is in the title, right? Let me tell you about Kaffe. Kaffe Fassett is an American artist, and he's a textile designer. And a textile designer is basically someone who designs fabric. So whenever you look at anything made of fabric, whether it's my shirt or a blanket or a wall hanging, somebody had to make up the pattern that goes in that fabric. That's what Kaffe Fassett does. Isn't that a cool thing to do for a living? So he designed all the fabrics that are in that quilt. And as you know, we use lots of different fabrics and designs and patterns in quilts, don't we? So look at the patterns in those fabrics in that quilt. And where do you think Kaffe gets a lot of his ideas for designs? Can you guess? I guess he gets a lot of designs from flowers. Look at how many blooms and blossoms and flowers are in that quilt, all different sizes and types and colors. I like to imagine him walking through a garden and thinking, how can I put that together and put it into a fabric that then somebody will wear or make a quilt out of? So maybe the next time you're in a garden and you're looking at flowers, you might see what kind of ideas you might get from flowers. You never know what you could create. Kaffe's name starts with the letter we're talking about today. And that letter is, if you know, go ahead and say it. We had another letter earlier that started with that same sound. It's not that letter. So it's not C. Do you know another letter that has the K sound? The letter K. Good job. K says K. Can you say K? Good job. Let's write a little k. There we go. Now a K one would be a fun one to make with your body. Go ahead and make a K with your body. How would you do that? And can you say the sound it makes while you make a K with your body? Good job. Well, let's put this K on the wall behind us. We'll put the K on Kaffe's quilt. And now let's play I Spy. Okay. Okay, do you hear that K in okay? Do you see an animal that begins with the letter K? This is an animal you might find in Australia. Koala. Koala starts with K. Here's another animal that starts with K. This is a baby animal. Do you see it? Kittens. Aren't they cute? Kittens starts with K. And here is somebody doing something that starts with the letter K. Find Charlie Brown. Do you know who Charlie Brown is? This is Charlie Brown. What is he doing to that soccer ball? Kicking. Kick begins with K. Good work. Let's sing our ABCs. What do you want to do when we get to the letter K to show that you know we're at the letter K? Okay, you go ahead and do that when we get to K. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Nice singing. Well, today's story is about someone who was nervous about going to school. And this is how he and his mom made him feel more comfortable. Today's story is called The Kissing Hand. Do you see the K word? Kissing. Right. Kiss begins with K. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. I don't want to go to school, he told his mother. I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you? He's really worried, isn't he? That's understandable. Going to school for the first time can be scary because it's something new. New things can always be a little scary, even when they're also exciting, right? So I understand him feeling nervous. Let's see how they solve that. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do, she told him gently, even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start. You'll make new friends and play with new toys, too. Read new books and swing on new swings. Besides, she added, I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your days at home. Now that might sound interesting. She said nights at school. Why do you think Chester is going to school at night? He's a raccoon, and raccoons are nocturnal, which means that they do things at night. Chester wiped away his tears and looked interested. A secret? What kind of secret? A very old secret, said Mrs. Raccoon. I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the kissing hand. The kissing hand? Asked Chester. What's that? I'll show you. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread open his tiny fingers into a fan. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. Mrs. Raccoon smiled. Now, she told Chester, whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you. And that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts. Mommy's kisses are magic like that, aren't they? She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss. Now, be careful not to lose it, she teased him. But don't worry. When you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick. Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. And look at all the fun things he's doing. And every time he looks, he remembers his mother's love and the kiss in his hand. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and grinned. "Give me your hand," he told her. Chester took his mother's hand in his own and unfolded her large, familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned forward and kissed the center of her hand. Oh, look at him kissing his mama's hand. Now you have a kissing hand too, he told her, and with a gentle goodbye and I love you, Chester turned and danced away. Look at all the little animals scurrying to school. Mrs. Raccoon watched Chester scamper across a tree limb and enter school. And as the hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. Chester loves you, it sang. Chester loves you. That made his mother feel happy too, because I'll let you in on a secret. When you go to school, mommies miss you as much as you miss them. And there they all are at school. Can you find Chester? I think he's right there. And look at this. There's the heart in the middle for the love. And look at the sign they're making right here. Take these two fingers and put them down. Do you know what that means? That means I love you in sign language. So that's a fun way if you ever aren't supposed to talk, but you want to let your mom or your dad or brother or sister or a friend know that you love them, you can give a secret message and just go. And then you're saying, I love you. Isn't that nice? Well, our first song today is called Keep a Song in Your Soul. Do you hear that K word? Which word is the K word? Keep. Good job. I chose this song because it's a good reminder that even when things aren't going well or maybe we're feeling kind of crummy, we can still have a good attitude. And I had so much fun trying out my bucket drum the last time that guess what I've got again? My bucket. So I'm going to give it a go because as Blake said at our quarantine birthday party, you got to keep practicing if you're going to get any better, right? Here we go. When the sun is out of sight, even though you miss the light, just to keep things going right, keep a song in your soul. When the dark clouds gather round and your castles tumble down, there's no time to wear a frown. Keep a song in your soul. If you'll only heed my story, you'll be introduced to glory. Hallelujah. If you keep this thought in you, anything that troubles you disappears like morning dew. Keep a song in your soul. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Not perfect, but not bad. I have something really cool to show you that begins with the letter K. So I'm going to hold it up, and if you know what it is, go ahead and say it out loud. What is this? It's a kite. Kite begins with K. And this amazingly cool kite is in the shape of a what? A dragon. Can you imagine seeing this up in the air flying? A big, colorful dragon? Flying kites is so much fun, especially when you have a really pretty, colorful one. So my song today is all about flying a kite. Give you one last look at my dragon, because it's just so cool. Today's song is called Let's Fly a Kite. And listen to the words and imagine holding that dragon way up in the air and watching it fly along the breeze. With tuppence for paper and strings, you can have your own set of wings. With your feet on the ground, you're a bird in flight, with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, kite, up to the highest heights. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. When you send it flying up there, all at once you're lighter than air. You can dance on the breeze over houses and trees with your fist holding tight to the string of your kite. Oh, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. Oh, let's go fly a kite. Doesn't that make you just want to go and get a kite and run outside and fly it? Maybe a kite as cool as this one. I think I may have to go fly a kite soon. Well, I had a lot of fun with you today. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for letting me practice my bucket drum. What sound are we going to listen for the rest of our day? K, right. And maybe right now, if your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or someone you love is nearby, maybe you'd like to give them a kiss just to let them know you love them. Well, hold out this arm and wrap it around your body, and hold out this one and wrap it around the other way, and give yourself a great big squeeze, because you are special and you are loved. Bye-bye.